But where's our flying cars? Fuck your flying cars. The self-flying car is on its way. Welcome back to Black and White Future, everyone. Today, I'm going to be covering the TFX. If you haven't heard of the TFX, it is the company Terrafugia's latest flying car. Now, you may be asking, for those who aren't keeping up, there are flying cars? Well, yes, there are flying cars. There's the Aeromobile, first and foremost, and it's a nice flying car, for what it's worth. But Terrafugia came in not around the same time as Aeromobile and developed a car that was quite similar to the Aeromobile. It takes off like normal planes. You have to have a runway. The problem with this is that it's not very market friendly. You're not going to get a lot of people to want a flying car that you need a runway to get off on. So Terrafugia came to the rescue. They developed the TFX. Now, what makes the TFX so different, which you can see right here, corner, from the earlier model, which was called the Transition, is that you don't need runways. No runways whatsoever. In fact, all you need is to park your car anywhere. You don't need a liftoff zone. You don't need a landing zone either. All you need is to park your car, tell the car where you want to go, because it's a self-flying car, and lift off. The other main differences between the TFX and the Transition model is that the TFX uses 600 HP electric motor pods, two of them to be exact, to begin its ascent. And to maintain safety precautions, it has 16 different motors attached to each pod. So you have two pods, 16 motors per. We're looking at 32 motors working just to make sure that you get off the ground easy. Awesome. Now, once you're lifted into the air, this is where things get really cool. The motor pods begin folding forward as the 300 HP electric engine in the back starts working with the twin motors. Now, as you reach cruise, the propellers begin folding internally, which is then set to charge by the 300 HP electric engine. The importance of this is that whatever the propellers are in need, there's always going to be that worry. Do I have enough energy to land? Do I have enough energy to lift off? So the ability for the engine to charge the propellers, Aeromobile has no chance in competing against us unless they create their own little TFX model. Now, as I said, as a self-flying car, you have the ability to tell the car where you want to go. It lifts off and it takes you right there. You don't have to do anything really. But to make sure that safety is of the utmost importance for Terrafugia, they had to make sure that the TFX avoids air traffic, bad weather, restricted airspace. Now, the vehicle itself has a full vehicle parachute, so if there's any emergency, the parachute will be deployed and you'll be okay. No worries. Speaking of emergencies, if the TFX operator, you, were to declare an emergency, the car would automatically notify the needed authorities, and you'll be able to land on non-approved landing zones. This is much different from normal flying cars because given the runway specifics, you need a specific area to land. Seeing as how you can just land and lift off wherever the hell you want, no more landing zones needed. If you ever become unresponsive, however, the TFX will then immediately implement an emergency landing at the nearest airport. So how much does this cost? Well, we don't know. They haven't, Terrafugia hasn't said anything about its price yet. An exact price, I should say. They have stated that they are aiming for relative affordability, meaning they're going to try and match prices with that of high-end luxury vehicles. But as it grows in popularity, thus increases in demand, blah, 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 prices will surely fall in tandem. This is a great thing, not only will we have flying cars, we won't even need to be flying them. Just like for the cars today that are turning into driverless cars. And given that it's an electric car, which will be great because you really don't want to be flying in a car that's filled with gasoline. The TFX is a fully electric vehicle, as stated, but it's able to travel 500 miles per charge. This is, from what I understand, further than a Tesla vehicle, which can go somewhere between 400 and 500 is the current. Yeah, about 400 500 miles per charge. So here, you'll be able to fly 400 500 miles. You'll be able to choose between manual or automatic in both flying and landing, which is, it's great, but if the car can land itself, there's no way in hell I'm going to try and attempt to land myself.
Why, yes! Land, go!
Unfortunately, though, the company, Terrafugia, has stated that the development of the TFX will take anywhere from 8 to 12 years. But early access will be available long before that time, at least according to Terrafugia. Now, I say because, according to Terrafugia, due to the fact that their transition model didn't really do very well with investors. They created the transition model, and they weren't able to really convince the investors to really take it seriously. They had problems with their design. They had, it was a mess. But the TFX is so much better than the transition model. So I have no doubt in my mind that the TFX will win the hearts and minds of not only the overall population, but with that of the investors. So, as was shown in the previous video, my previous review, we will see a quick video of the TFX, and again, it will be here at the corner. So, let's do this. Gotta get my e-cig on. See? There it is. Right there when it starts folding forward and the electric motor starts kicking in. Terrafugia. Awesome. It's just, how can you not want that? And it's right on top. Well, we have flying cars already. We had them before 2015, but it's 2015. Back to the Future Part 2, when 2015 rolled in, we were already accustomed to self-driving cars. There were those who are already accustomed to the idea that there are flying cars now, but now there are self-flying cars in development. But granted, in Back to the Future, they weren't just flying cars. There were hover cars as well. And there were skyways in Back to the Future Part 2. We don't have skyways yet. But given the advent of the TFX, it would seem that a skyway is going to be needed because even with automated vehicles and the ability to avoid air traffic, there's going to need to be some kind of regulation system developed to help maintain proper course for each operator of a TFX of their own. So skyways, there will likely be a skyway. Now, to add on the questions of the matter of when these TFXs pop up in large numbers, we also have to keep in mind, well, what about the commercial drone market that is growing today? The FAA are already flipping shit over people having access to these commercial drones. I don't believe that they're going to be able to stop people from using commercial drones. They're going to definitely regulate it to a considerable degree, but will they stop them? No. With the flying cars, though, we're going to have to create another, skyway per se, where there is at one level there's drones operating, at another level there are the self-flying cars, and then at another level we have the much larger air vehicles, airplanes, helicopters, jets, and so on and so forth. But either way, no matter how we go about addressing these questions, which are needed, we need to start asking these questions. Either way, it would appear that the future of our dreams, of all the sci-fi that we've read in the past, is finally well underway. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Black and White Future. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.